Hey friends, let's talk about Nano Dimensions, Nndm ticker for this one. So I have been an investor of Nano Dimensions here for over a year. I've got just 100 shares, nothing crazy here. I was buying Nano Dimensions around a $9, even $12 spot right before the stock really came crashing down. And I've always been very bullish on this. I believe this is going to be a stock that is going to be very, very lucrative into the future. And obviously we've seen signs of that right now, and we're going to talk about that because they've had their new quarterlies come out here and they were banging, and that's why we're seeing such an uptrend in the stock. And there's something possibly going on here with the stock as well, and we're going to be talking about that. Okay, friends, so let's look at a chart right here. So obviously, right around January, February, we were seeing some very high volume, very high numbers, bid price for Nano here. But, since then, ending into February of this year, we have just seen, a heavily decrease here. And honestly, Nano was doing a lot of things this year. They were switching a lot of top executives, CEOs, things of that sort. There was a lot going on, and it was scaring a lot of investors. There was just a lot of inner things going on with Nano that were changing this year. And honestly, I'm a fan of change in companies. I think a lot of times change can be good to get bigger numbers for what you're wanting to achieve here with a company. And the new people that came into Nano this year were pretty big names from pretty big previous companies. So obviously right now, what is going on? What do we know? The quarterlies have come out here and they are really good. Nano just released this statement right here saying, our revenue for the 9 months ended September 30th to 2021 was up by more than 107% compared to the same period in 2020, with an increase of 65% over quarter compared to the second quarter of 2021. So, this is really big right here. And obviously they have their new Dragonfly system that is happening. And, things are just going really, really smooth right now for Nano Dimensions. So obviously, we know there's a lot of big firms that buy Nano Dimensions. The Kathy Wood situation, that's been there, and that's really nothing new. But also that this is a company that is really getting into, it's in a little bit of everything. It's in the medical field, it's in the defense sector, it's in a lot of different situations, and they do not mind telling you. Now, one thing that's interesting, this article just came out, and I can only find it on Webull, and that's pretty interesting too. Nano Dimensions jumps after earnings. What's next for the stock? So right here, this analyst is saying something. He is saying the stock looks to have recently bounced off support in what technical traders call a falling wedge pattern. The price has been slowly falling, considered between narrowing highs and lows, and is now nearing the end of the pattern. If the stock is able to break above resistance or breaks below support, it may see a further push in the same direction. So it's saying it could go either way, and something could happen. So a lot of people are actually talking about this situation. This is, if you're following Nano Dimensions right now, a lot of YouTubers are talking about this, and I've seen some pretty high estimates of what people are thinking. I've seen all the way from 70 to 50 to 20 to 10. Obviously, I'm going to say 10 would be well in the money if it were to hit that. But I really think Nano at this point, it needs a lot more news. It needs bigger things to come out. And, with it being the end of the year, the stock market really, we don't know where it's going. It's been terrible the past 2 weeks for most things. But if you believe in the company, where the company is going, then, I would feel very comfortable at this price range. And honestly, I think buying this at $4 to $5 for the future price of this is a steal, especially with seeing these really positive reports for these quarterlies. I mean, this is tremendous. So I think, obviously the market opens back up Friday here. Today's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. And then we have a little bit of, pretty much half a day here in the market tomorrow, Friday, wrapping up the week. And then next week, it's going to be very interesting where Nano goes, because this is obviously going to bring out a lot more articles, a lot more news. It's going to make a lot more people feel comfortable about putting more money into the stock itself. So Friends, as always, I'm very bullish on Nano. I haven't talked about them in quite a while, but if you're looking for something that is definitely a growth stock, I mean, this is the epitome of a growth stock. This is something that you buy early on and that could really turn into something here in the future. Nano Dimensions is one of those stocks. It's very, I'm very into futuristic companies, futuristic stocks, and this is one of those companies that I'm very interested in for where they're going to go in 3D printing, the AI system, how they will build and help shape that into the future. So I think this is a very notable and worthy company to look at and really pay attention to. And obviously at one point in time, this was a very expensive stock. Now, I think if Nano Dimensions can keep this momentum going, obviously, I don't think it's hard for this stock to get back to a $7 to $9 mark. I really think that's where this should be sitting, especially with these new quarterlies out. And that could be what it's doing. It could just be working its way back up to a $7 to $9 bid price. And I think that's probably right. I think that's fair. I think that with the numbers, with the market cap on it, where it's headed, more than likely you're going to see that be the new price going into 2022 here for Nano Dimensions. So, friends, with all that said, I am very bullish on this one. I love this one. I actively hold shares right now and probably will be buying up a lot more here once, we get further into ending the year here and I get money situated and figure out how I want to put things going into 2022 here. So, friends, with all that said, remember, be positive, be you, take time to invest in your future. Friends, I will talk to you soon. Happy Thanksgiving, and have a fantastic day, night, wherever you are. Bye, friends.